Howdy from Arlington, Texas, y'all. Hope this video finds you well. Happy Friday. Hope everyone has a wonderful weekend ahead of them. What I got today is another video response. This one is for Sticks G, and I will put a link to the video where he announces this below. But what he wants to know is what is one card you want to pick up? And he didn't, I don't recall that he specified hockey, but he wanted you to show off hockey cards, so I'm going to stick with hockey. What is one hockey card that I want to pick up? I mean, I enjoy hockey. Um, that card probably would have been a Mario Lemieux rookie, except that I actually have a low-grade Mario Lemieux rookie already. So, if you're not going to have that, what would you want to have? I'm going to go with the very obvious. Would love to have a Topps or O-Pee-Chee Wayne Gretzky rookie. You know, he's the second greatest hockey player ever behind Mario Lemieux. That's what I got. All right, so what he wanted you to show was somewhere between 2 and 5 of your favorite hockey cards. You know how I am. I don't follow rules all the time. So I went with 5, kind of 5, 5.5, I don't know, 6. But let's start out. This is number 5. And this one definitely is a personal one for me. This is a Trevor Daley Panini Prime patch card. So my lovely wife actually enjoys hockey. She is a big Stars fan and has been for years. When I moved here in 2014, Trevor Daley was, I believe he was the captain of the Stars. If he wasn't the captain, he was definitely, he was one of their longest tenured, and he was her favorite player on the Stars at the time. And sometime shortly thereafter, I want to say I got this from my buddy Eric, but he had this beautiful patch card with this huge, ginormous patch. And I picked that up for, I don't know, her, me, I don't know. I picked it up regardless. It's just one of those things that has meaning to me because hockey is one of the things, you know, early on in our relationship that we bonded over because she was a Stars fan, I'm a Blackhawks fan, and to this day, you know, we both cheer for both teams unless they're playing the other. So that is my number 5 favorite hockey card. My number 4 is this beauty right here. The fact that it's graded actually means nothing. I just actually happened to have it graded at one point. BGS was set up at our local card show, so I decided to have it graded. But this is man, this is not showing up, I guess, because it's black. So this is let's see what we got here. Man, I can't even see what year it is. Let's look up here. 2010-11 limited select signatures Mario Lemieux autograph numbered out of 49. I picked this up at a card show when I lived in Indianapolis. Um, I am not a Penguins fan by any stretch of the imagination, but as a kid growing up that enjoyed hockey, I just don't like any of the Pittsburgh teams, let's be honest. Um, but I have respect where it's due, and Mario Lemieux is, to me, probably the greatest hockey player ever. Um, I got this probably within a year or so before I moved down here. So I've had that since probably about 2013. At some point when I got down here, like I said, BGS was set up at a show, and I decided to have that autographed. It's actually not my only Lemieux autograph. I wasn't even my first. I actually have an autograph stick that I bought from Andy at the baseball card exchange in Indianapolis. It's not certified, but he knew the collector. He believes 100% that it's authentic, and he had told me, hey, if you get it done, if you get it, you try to get it authenticated and it doesn't pass, I'll give you your money back for it. Never bothered with that. It's cool. Someday I'll get it in a stick box and hung up and all that. And I've actually got a third one, but that one is my favorite. So speaking of legends and autographs, I pulled pulled this from a pack. I don't remember what year this is. This is 2013-14. This was at the end of Panini's time that they could produce hockey cards. So they were doing a lot of sticker dumps. This Panini Contenders, like, you had odds for autographs, but you were getting almost one extra autograph per box from what they said. So I pulled this autograph card. So you have Teemu Selanne there, who I believe is a Hall of Famer, Joe Sakic, who is a Hall of Famer, and Ray Bork, who is a Hall of Famer. Oh, oops, I got a little doggy hair in there. Oops, it happens. But wait, there's more. On the other side, Shea Weber, who may end up being in the Hall of Fame someday. Martin St. Louis, not sure if he's going to be a Hall of Famer or not. And Alex Ovechkin, one of the greatest goal scorers of all time. I'm sure Shane over at Shoebox Legends will like this when he sees it. But yeah, I pulled that myself. I've had it at card shows at times to sell. I've had it in my eBay store with that price of, if you're willing to overpay a ridiculous amount, I'll sell it to you, but otherwise I want to keep it. Nobody's been willing, so it is mine. And at this point, it is never going to be for sale. So, card number 2. The hockey player that I have collected, I would say the hardest, super collector. Haven't really done much with it in the last handful of years, but still, based on what I have, I would say I probably have the best Andrew Shaw collection there is. More specifically, I almost have to have the best Blackhawks Andrew Shaw collection. I lost interest in it when he got traded from the Blackhawks to the Canadiens because I just don't like the Canadiens, and the Blackhawks are my favorite team. But so I will put a link below. I did a tabletop showcase of a lot of his cards a couple years ago, so I will put a link to that if you want to check that out for an idea of some of the stuff that I have of his. So this Back to the Future card, another funny story about this. This was my first experience with Sport Lots. I could not find this card for the life of me. And then I just did a Google search, and it popped up on Sport Lots for $50. Seems like a lot for an Andrew Shaw autograph card until you know that on the other side is Jeremy Roenick's autograph. This, at the time, was my favorite player, and probably still is. I mean, even though he's retired. He had to retire after last season due to just so many concussions. This was my favorite player. Jeremy Roenick was my favorite player as a kid, and I was definitely super collecting him before I even knew what a super collector was. So, literally, my 2 favorite players of my lifetime on the same card. And a boot, numbered out of 25, which you can't see there. Stella, shut up! Sorry, guys. But that is my number 2 card. So my number 1 is 2 cards. I told you, you know how I am. I don't adhere to the rules all the time. It's 2 cards, but it's 1 card, so you can look at it how you want. So both of these are some of my favorite cards, and I tell you why. So let's start with this guy. Pack pulled. I pulled that myself. So when Andrew Shaw was a rookie, this was his first card that came out. Andrew Shaw does not have a Young Guns card. He only has a canvas Young Guns card. I have no idea why that happened. I don't know if it has to do with the time of year he came, the time of the season he came up, or what. So the first game I watched hockey, I had moved, had gotten some new cable, so I had the Chicago station that played Blackhawks games. His first game was the first game I watched, Blackhawks game I had watched in years. So I got back in immediately, and I was immediately drawn to him. He had 2/3 of the Gordie Howe hat trick in his first game. He scored a goal, and he had a fight. He didn't get an assist, so he didn't complete the Gordie Howe hat trick, but he was 2/3 of the way there. Instantly my favorite player. So what do you do when you see a new guy and you go to eBay? And I was able to pick up a couple of his minor league cards. But this was his first NHL card with the Blackhawks. I was at the card show in Indianapolis. It was the Fisher show. And I bought 1 box, and I was just laughing. I told the guy, I was like, haha, this is the 1 card I'm looking for. Wouldn't it be something if I pulled it? Son of a bitch if I didn't pull it. Now, if you know hockey cards, Young Guns are like 1 in 6 packs. I don't even know what the odds on Canvas cards are now, but they were, I want to say they were 1 in like maybe 400. Maybe I'm off. Maybe they weren't. Maybe they're higher than that. But Canvas Young Guns are scarce. Then on top of that, there's at least 50 of them, I think. So the odds of getting the one that you want in particular is astronomical. And I pulled that damn card. And that is why it is half of my favorite hockey card. This is the other one. So it's the same card. I bought this one later on. This is a card that it's crazy, it's scarce, and that's why. Andrew Shaw did not make an all-star game. He's not a future Hall of Famer. I mean, none of that. But this card is not cheap when it does come available. I have 4 copies of this. If this card was like a $5 card, I would probably have 30 copies of this, because this would be one card that I would hoard. But unfortunately, it's expensive, and like I said, I think I have 4 copies of it total. It might be 5. This was the second one I bought, though. And as you see, it is autographed, it is graded, authenticated, and everything, and the whole deal. But I got all this done. I bought this card raw on eBay. And then I worked for Lids in the corporate office for almost a decade. And we ran some stores, including there were some stores in Chicago that had become Lids Locker Room. Andrew Shaw was doing a signing at our store. So, hell yeah, I took the afternoon off. I drove from Indianapolis to Chicago, went up, met him. Great kid. He signed multiple things for me. So I got this card signed. Later, once I moved to Texas, I decided at a card show, I want to say it was actually at the one where I submitted this one, JSA was set up. So I had them go ahead and certify the card, certify the autograph. I knew it was legit, and if they hadn't passed it, whatever. I wasn't worried about it. Nothing was lost, other than my money. But they certified it as authentic. Awesome. So then I decided to go ahead and just have BGS slab it, because at the time they worked with JSA, and if something was JSA authenticated, they would slab the card. Now that they have Beckett authentication, they don't do that, but they did at the time. So I took this from raw, got it autographed, got it certified, got it slabbed. And I told you that I was a super collector, and I had if not still have, the best Andrew Shaw collection. There becomes a point, and, it's fallen over. There comes a point where when you collect a guy like Andrew Shaw, who's not a superstar, I did the video response for Scotty the other day for his Bo Bichette Rainbow. You take a guy like Bo Bichette, there's always something out there you need, because they have so many cards. Andrew Shaw was a 3rd or 4th line wing. He was a pest. He was not a superstar, so he was not in a lot of sets. At a certain point, there's no more cards for you to buy when you collect a guy. It's like collecting a 4th outfielder or a 5th outfielder on your favorite baseball team. There's really nothing out there left to buy. The only stuff you don't have, either you can't find or it's overpriced. And this was a unique way for me to add to my collection, just over the course of time. Between the card, between the authentication, between the slabbing, I probably have close to $100 into that card. But to me, there's a story behind it, and that's what the hobby should be about, is the stories and the memories. And I look at that. I remember meeting Andrew Shaw. He was a great kid. I have the stories about how I got the card from raw to where it is, and that's why it is 1A or 1B of my favorite hockey cards. Thanks for listening to my 15 minutes of rambling. I hope you enjoyed it. If you made it this far, you are awesome. Hope you will like my video. If you haven't, I hope you will subscribe. I try to post videos Monday through Friday. Every once in a while I miss. Didn't get stuff last week, but I do try. That's what I got for today. Thank you so much for watching. Be smart, be safe, be kind to animals, have your pet spayed or neutered, and I'll see you down the road.